everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we kick this off, I do want to point out that we welcome audience questions. Please post them in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, and we will address those questions after today's presentation. So I'd like to now turn this over to Steven Saltzstein, Force Family Office's CEO.
Thank you, Callie, and thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to be with us. You know, this presentation is kind of the perfect combination of an entrepreneur who knows this space like the back of his hand and has already had a successful exit in this space. Probably one of the most worthy causes, child safety, you can think of, and fantastic technology. And if you kind of boil all of those three together, you'll get XSponse. So it is now my great pleasure to welcome Lee Mandel, CEO of XSponse. Thank you, Lee.
Steve, thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for being here today. So what you're about to learn about today isn't your typical presentation. It's not a vision for the future. It's truly going to be a demonstration on how we're actively today saving lives using the ecosystem, the XSponse ecosystem, using true AI technology. So hope you enjoy the presentation and we'll look forward to your questions. I'm going to jump right into it. So just to kind of give you a little background on the mission of XSponse, like I said just a moment ago, it's all about saving lives using our smart technology. And everything we're going to show you here today is going to be done in a live fashion. So you'll be able to see the technology that's actually in use at our clients today and how we're looking to expand and grow the ecosystem that we're going to talk about today. So just to give you a little background on where we are today as a company. So we've launched the company not too long ago and already have a pretty significant customer base, as you can see on the left side here. We're in schools, hospitals, corporate environments. We are generating revenue as we speak and have a current pipeline of over $25 million. In fact, just a few months ago, before the government shutdown, we actually presented to the White House about this technology and how it can be used on a national level to save lives. We've had incredible talks with some of the customers you see on the right side, including McDonald's. We're actually in negotiations with New York City Department of Education, the largest school district in the United States, where they just presented about a successful deployment a few days ago. Mayor Adams presented on our technology and what we're going to be doing. We're also speaking to LA Unified School District, as well as several states and organizations, including the White House. So we're really a long way ahead when it comes to this technology, which is why I opened up by saying we are actively saving lives today with the technology we're going to demonstrate and describe today. So I just want to talk briefly about the TAM, just so you understand our target audience. So schools obviously is a big portion of our audience. It's a very sticky environment. It's where we spend a lot of our time. But outside of schools, we have retail, industrial, public sector, hospitals, believe it or not, absolutely tremendous for what we're doing. And commercial's always been exciting for us. But with the recent events that happened in New York City, and we'll talk about how our technology could have been used there on Broadway to prevent situations or get first responders quicker in the event of a situation happening. So a tremendous TAM, which gives us tremendous opportunity and really tremendous growth potential. So let me first talk about how the system is deployed. There's a lot of products out there that you'll hear about that they talk about that they're AI powered. We are truly AI, and we use the acronym IaaS, which is Infrastructure as a Service. So we actually have our infrastructure that we offer as a service, which creates our recurring revenue model that we'll talk about in a moment. But we're doing everything using AI from monitoring. You know, for example, in a school environment, we're actually listening for abnormal activity, whether it be someone vaping or environmental conditions changing, even things like fights, gunshots, anything along those lines. We automatically react using AI based off those events that happen. And our entire system is based off an AI algorithm, what we call triggers, actions, and events. Our triggers are what happens. We then take the necessary action, which ultimately builds up an event. And we're going to show you some of the advanced AI technology live today from our office in New York. I'm actually in our office in Florida right now, but Kelly, who will be presenting in a few moments with us, is in our New York office. And we'll be showing you some of the technology, including our 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional mapping, and the tools that we use to really give first responders additional time in responding to an active shooter situation. So just to give you an idea of our bench, our leadership team, myself had many successful years in the security industry. I had a large integration company that I sold to private equity in 2019, but I knew my mission was not completed. You know, I always wanted to get into the manufacturing space, not just the integration space, but building the technology and creating the product, which we're going to show you here today. John, who's our founder and our chief technology officer, he actually had former experience at Motorola, Intel, and most importantly, Microsoft, where he worked directly under Bill Gates. So a lot of incredible technology that John has experience with creating. Ryan and Andy both have a special place in my heart. After the shooting that happened in Parkland in 2018 on Valentine's Day, I had an opportunity to go to Parkland and meet some of the parents who are right now are with us today. Ryan and Andy both lost their children in the horrible shooting that happened at Marjory Stoneman Douglas, February of 2018. Ryan and Andy have both been advocating in both the prior Trump administration, the prior Biden administration, and the current Trump administration to find ways to prevent this from happening. And Ryan has experience not just in dealing with these situations, but having worked at ADT as one of their chief product officers on developing technology and security solutions. So Ryan and Andy, we're honored to have them with us and as part of our team. Mark, who's our chief operating officer, tons of experience in private equity and organizing production and management of an organization. And Josh, who's also on the call with us today, our chief financial officer, who really is incredible at keeping everything organized and putting everything together for us. So we have a very incredible team, strong bench of team to put this together with years and years of experience. But let's just talk about the challenge that we're faced with. And it's not just schools. You know, alone in schools, we've had over 60 school shootings recently. Think about hospitals and situations with employees and duress situations, and also quick serve restaurants. So this is a constant ongoing issue that continues to happen. And unfortunately, it's not getting any better. And it's all about how do we, A, prevent these incidents from happening, but in the event they do, how do we bring true situational awareness and improve the response time and give tools to first responders? And that's what we're going to talk about and show you today in real time. So some of the challenges that we found in the market from my prior company and other companies that we've studied is how do we make this system affordable? And that's why we created the infrastructure as a service model, which we'll talk to you guys about in a little bit. But how do we make this a plug-and-play solution that's simple and easy to deploy that works with existing infrastructure? So there's no ripping and replacing, no taking anything out. And one of the things we've learned post-Parkland is how do we create muscle memory? How do we incorporate this technology into the day-to-day use of an environment, whether it's a school or a hospital or a quick serve establishment? How do they use this technology on a day-to-day, not just for the big day and hope that it works? So what we've created is an incorporated technology, whether it's for environmental monitoring, public address communications. So they're utilizing this in the day-to-day concept. And one of the biggest challenges that we found from first responders and different organizations is concern over privacy. So we've created, and you'll see it live today, a mechanical shutter control system on our devices to provide that extra layer of privacy, which only activates during an emergency situation. And we'll show you a video and live showing you exactly how that operates. And when you put this all together, it really helps us with the collaboration and avoiding that traditional pushback that you get when you go to deploy this technology. So I want to talk about the ecosystem. Traditionally, most of these ecosystems are really fragmented all over the place. We've brought this together, and you can see all these devices circled around that computer screen. Those are all the devices that we've created. And they all come back to what we call our Guardian platform, which is our infrastructure that creates this platform. So you can see all the products around the side, all focus around that, bring us to Guardian. The concept behind this was how do we create a true ARR model for our dealers, our integrators, and us as a company. So everything you're seeing here is based on a platform, full subscription model, whether it comes to the deployment, the support, the maintenance, and it gives us that capability of generating true ARR. I always talk about it as an appetizer. We get in with our appetizer. Next thing you know, the customer looks at the main course, the dessert, and continues to expand from there. And that's what we've done and created that cross-selling potential with all of our different entryway technologies, such as our wearable, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. So it's all focused around the software to create that automated, annual recurring revenue model. So just to give you a high-level overview of some of our key products, from the top left, we have our display devices. These devices typically can replace a clock, a communication platform. They're not just displays, but they have cameras in it, they have speakers in it, strobe lights in it, and we'll show you a live demo of those working. The most popular technology right now is the wearable technology. So we've actually incorporated technology into the holders that people use to hold their badge, whether it's in a school, corporate environment, or anything like that. Gives us the capability of putting a panic button in everyone's hand And upon an activation, we can track within 4 feet of the location where the person is so we can bring help immediately. Our product that we won the SIA New Product of the Year award in this past April is the Shield device, an all-in-one security device from touchscreen to communication to strobes, cameras, speakers, microphone, card reader, everything of the above. And our vape detector technology, which is incredibly strong at preventing and really detecting all different particles other than just vape. We even have hospitals that are putting this in and hotels that are putting this in because it's a source of revenue for a hotel, which I learned, to be able to actually detect if people are vaping in these hotel rooms and being able to charge the guests for that. So it generates a source of revenue. Our light module is ADA compliant, full red, green, blue, white, strobe light, or display light. All these devices, might I add, are all power over Ethernet, plug and play. Think of it as the Ring doorbell or the Nest thermostat of security and automation in an enterprise environment. Our alert device is an endpoint for communication, has audio, strobes, various sensors, counting devices built in. And then we even have an input-output control module, which brings us into the automation and smart building space to tie into third-party communication devices. Naturally, our Protect buttons, which incorporate our panic button you see on the left and our desktop button, enable us to initiate, as we talked about before, our triggers, and our PA adapter ties into third-party PA systems. So when you combine all these technologies together, it makes up our ecosystem that we'll describe. So one of the most important slides for me is our timeline as a company. So we're a young company. We were founded July of 2024. We raised our first capital shortly thereafter in August, and we officially launched the company to the public and our dealer network in January of 2025. Believe it or not, we got press already in April of 2025, where we were featured on Fox and Friends. And we got picked up because of that press by the New York City Department of Education, which over 1,800 schools, and LA Unified School District, which are the 1,000+ schools, saying they put their pilot programs on hold to see if they can integrate our technology into their existing security infrastructure, which, by the way, we are underway with that product pilot deployment. We've also grown up to 72 dealers in just a few months. So by June of 2025, we had 72 dealers, full-time integrated dealers built into our product ecosystem, and really grew that channel. We completed our first deployment in July of 2025, over 1,000+ devices, and we had the opportunity to present to the White House and had Andy Pollack in the Oval Office meeting with the president to talk about this technology. September was an incredible month for us. We raised an additional $1 million. And we also had a tremendous media blitz with over 15 appearances. And I recommend going on our website, XSponse.com, looking at the news section, and you can see all the incredible press we've got. Naturally, that led to a tremendous pipeline building and created for us a challenge, which is our production backlog. And we're in the process right now of negotiating with an additional contract manufacturer right here in the United States. So all this leads to what I consider true, really incredible growth for the company. So we're going to get to a live demo, show you a little bit of how the technology works. But before that demo, I think it's best to show you one of our videos. This was one of the Blitz videos that came out with the start of school. This was a Fox video from New York. So I'm just going to put this video on so you can understand exactly how the technology works.
Curing schools with new technology. A look at the high tech being implemented at one school district in our area. Now, school safety on everyone's mind, especially after the deadly shooting rampage at a Catholic school in Minneapolis yesterday. Welcome back to the 5 o'clock news. I'm Natasha Verma.
And I'm Bianca Peters. The new key to keeping students safe in the classroom. Fox 5's Jessica Formosa with a look at the security system.
As students prepared to return to school, many parents left worried about the safety of their children in light of the recent school shooting in Minneapolis. Plain Edge School District implementing a high-tech security system just in time for the new school year. The first of its kind, cutting-edge technology would put the school in lockdown. Cameras and a live map of inside the school building would be activated, allowing first responders to see where exactly the threat could be.
Imagine first responders not just knowing what's going on, being able to see in the classroom and track on a live map within a few feet where the emergency situation's happening.
Plain Edge is the first school district in New York State to install the security system. The AI-driven platform, XSponse, comes with camera devices, a panic button, and badges for all staff members to wear. With a press of a button, it would trigger an instant lockdown. There are 5 schools in the district, and more than 400 of these devices have been installed. Officials tell us there's one in every single classroom, including common areas like the hallways and lunchrooms. The cameras on these X-Shield devices only turn on when a lockdown is initiated.
At this time, we will be moving into a lockdown. This is not a drill.
In case of an emergency, the central office would see the cameras pop up within seconds, giving first responders visibility into classrooms and two-way communication.
When they show up, it's most important that we don't show up at the main entrance. You show up at the entrance that's closest to the people that need the help, right? This will actually send that signal and give us the ability to get the first responders to the people to save lives by saving seconds.
Ryan Petty, who lost his daughter Elena in the Parkland school shooting, says time is of the essence in a crisis. Every second counts, and technology like this could save lives.
Every second that we can shave off, locating where the attacker is, or directing first responder resources to the right spot so that those that are in need can get the help that they need, that will undoubtedly save lives.
So you get an understanding of the technology. I'd love to introduce you to Ryan Petty quickly. Ryan, you want to say a few words?
Absolutely, Lee. Thank you. Yeah, look, I just want to reiterate what I said to on that Fox clip, that I'm very excited to be associated with XSponse and to be part of bringing this technology to market. About a year ago, when Lee told me about his vision for pulling all of these devices together and creating a platform that was AI driven, that could automate the response to these emergencies, whether they be active shooter, medical emergencies, disciplinary issues in a school, whether we're dealing with a quick serve restaurant or a hospital situation. Time equals the ability to save lives. And so what we're doing here is pulling together the world's first cohesive ecosystem, the first of its kind in the industry. There's no finger pointing. There's no this didn't work, that didn't work. It's completely automated from end to end. And what we do is integrate with that businesses with their operating procedures for their response protocols. And we can automate that and take the human error out of that. And that human error is what, unfortunately, is where we lose lives, right? When we make mistakes. So I'm excited to be a part of XSponse. Lee, thanks for letting me share a few words, and I'm excited to bring this to market.
Appreciate it, Ryan. So I'm going to ask everyone to focus their attention on the XSponse demo room, which should be spotlighted on your screen. And you'll see Kelly there. Kelly, wave to the audience here today. So just like the Wheel of Fortune, we have our own Vanna White here. Kelly's in our Massapequa, New York office, and she's next to our demo wall. So what you'll see here is all of our equipment focused around in the center, our X-Guardian platform controller. From our double-sided displays, our single-sided displays, our shield, our panic buttons. So I'm going to just do a quick demonstration. I have the mobile app here in my office here in Florida, and I'm just going to activate the wall panic here just so we can show you a quick demonstration. So we use these robotic arms to actually simulate when we do demonstrations with our dealers. But if you'll notice what happens when I activate that device, all of the systems start operating. We're flashing the strobe lights. We're taking over the computer screens. The cameras are streaming to first responders in real time. And then we're going to make an announcement.
Our school is now in lockdown. Please find a secure location and lock all classroom doors. Our school is in lockdown.
I'm just going to clear that event, and we'll shut those off real quick. And then I want to show you one of the more popular devices that we have, which is our wearable technology. So I'm going to again use our mobile app. I'm going to zoom in on the wearable device just so I can show you what it looks like. So this is the device that staff and students, hospital staff, hotel cleaning folks, this is what they would typically wear on their badge, that would hold their badge in it and has the technology. Kelly, would you mind hitting that 3 times for me just so I can show everyone how it activates? Thank you. So she's hitting that button 3 times. You'll notice it starts to blink. I'm just going to zoom out so you guys can see the whole system operate again. So everything's happening once again in real time, except this time I'm going to just share my screen with you and kind of show you a little bit about how the platform works.
Attention, our school is now in lockdown. Please find a secure location and lock all classroom doors. Our school is in lockdown.
So this is a real-time look behind the curtain of the XSponse ecosystem. So fully cloud-based. Again, this is our infrastructure as a service model that we have here. So all our devices are programmed into the cloud, just like you would with a Ring doorbell or a Nest thermostat. We have our event creation module. And what we're most known for is what we give away to our first responders, which is our mapping technology. So imagine having first responders being able to see live inside of a classroom because we have the mechanical shutter. It removes the privacy concerns that you typically would see in most environments. So we can see right over here, right through the system. We can zoom in and look at any particular room. You'll see this flashing map in the auditorium. This will show you exactly where Kelly just activated that button. As she would move around the building, we're able to take a look. We can actually flash this room. You can see this room is flashing right now and showing us exactly what's going on. We can additionally drill down to the room level, see everything from environmental conditions, which is now a requirement, everything from humidity, CO2, vape detection, have the capability of looking at photos and even pulling up live cameras and making real-time announcements. Kelly, if you wouldn't mind, can you hold that button down for 10 seconds just to clear it for me? Thank you so much. She's just going to clear that button over there. But you can see when the system activates, we open the mechanical shutters, we're taking screenshots, we're transmitting the data live to first responders. And these devices that you see, especially the display devices, they're not used for other purposes. They're used for day-to-day as well. So we can use this for announcements, communication. I'm just going to show you another quick demonstration from my mobile device. What I'm going to do right over here is just activate the mobile device. And I am going to do a live broadcast just so you can see. So I'm here in Florida, and you'll see all the devices will show announcement in progress. And there's my face live from Florida to New York. And here's my laptop. We can see the Zoom meeting going. So teachers actually use this for broadcasting and making morning announcements within a school. An incredible component of technology as well. They use this for announcements remotely. So we're not just waiting for the big day, if you will, to use this technology. They're using it and incorporating in day-to-day use, which is super important as well, to be able to utilize this during day-to-day. You also have the capability of making announcements. I'm going to mute myself. And now from my cell phone, I'm speaking over the system in New York live in real time, as a teacher could technically do for making morning announcements remotely. So you get an idea of the technology and its capability. I'm going to jump back into our PowerPoint presentation and share a little bit more with you about how the technology works and a little bit more about the investment potential and the opportunity. I'm just going to switch back to the other screen and we'll jump right back into it from the live demo. So let's talk a little bit about the investment overview and what we're looking to do and grow the organization. So some financial stats right now. Again, we are revenue generating. This isn't a concept that we've come up with that we're looking to get money to build. This is built. We've developed all these products in a short period of time. We currently have over 1,000 devices deployed around the country, $25 million active pipeline, and that does not include New York City Department of Education or LA Unified, which would bring that well over $75 million. The gross margins are several points above any publicly traded company when it comes to our hardware. And because we're focused as infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and ARR recurring revenue, our gross margins are incredible. Our EBITDA margins are very, very scalable because we don't have much expenses that increase as we deploy more technology. And since we're using contract manufacturers, our CapEx is extremely minimal. What we're looking to do at this point is approximately raise around $13 million to really grow and enhance what we consider the billion-dollar infrastructure as a service model that we've created. Most of that money would be used for growing our sales and marketing team, because what we've learned over the past years is you can have all the dealers in the world. The key is building demand for those dealers. So attending school board conferences, getting parents involved, and really bringing opportunities from the actual end user to our dealers. Once a dealer sees that you're bringing that level of interest to them, it generates an automatic trickle-down effect where they continue to grow the organization through that demand that you've built for them. We've also recently created a law enforcement division where we're donating our technology to law enforcement for them to help us bring on infrastructure and customers into that environment. We're naturally going to continue to grow our intellectual property, building new devices and technology, and continue to fund our ongoing operations. So why invest in XSponse? Well, you've already seen the team that we have, the experience that they have. We're working with two of the largest school districts in America. That speaks volumes for the level of technology and what we've created. To have that interest, I dreamed as an integrator for over 19 years of being able to have interest from those large school districts. But to have that in under a year speaks volumes for the technology. To have a best new product of a year just a few months after it launched is incredible with the X Shield technology. And we've exceeded all expectations. We plan to develop 5 products our first year and developed over 15. When we tell people that those 15 products that you saw were literally just an idea, they laugh. They think that's impossible, but it's true. We developed all 15 of those products in under a year's period of time. Our manufacturing is not impacted by tariffs whatsoever. We manufacture in Bristol, Pennsylvania, and also Long Island, New York, which is incredible to be able to do this right here in the United States. We are partnering right now with several strategic companies in the security space to really enhance and integrate with their technology. Some of the largest video management platforms, door locking platforms, and other integrated technologies that work with first responders. And the visibility that you've seen that we've had, and I encourage you to go on our website once again and see that between the Oval Office, the Department of Education, and all the incredible national and local media, we're really getting the word out about the technology. So just to wrap up, again, we do not sell direct to end users. Our focus is through dealers and distribution, which currently is on a national level. Just in a few short months, we have over 72 dealers, and we cover a good part of the United States, both the East Coast and the West Coast, and are currently expanding in Central America as well. But the technology speaks for itself. And again, I end with the same mission and the same feedback that we said at the beginning. What we learned about today is not just a vision for the future. It was a true demonstration of what we're actively doing to save lives using technology. Seconds matter, seconds save lives. And as Ryan said in that video, and we talked about here, this technology is and will save lives, and we're proud to have created it and hope you'll come along for the ride with us. Thank you very much for your time, everyone, and I think we'll switch over to questions now.
So can you talk a little bit about your patents on the technology? You know, how is this going to prevent others from doing the same thing?
Yeah, so great concept. So everything that we built is in our ecosystem. So it communicates from point A to point B. We already have patents that are filed and approved, and we have several patents pending. A big part of preventing and protecting our intellectual property and a lot of the use of funds there is going to continue to build those patents. We have 7 patents that are in progress right now. And every time we come up with new technology, new ideas, our patent attorneys immediately go in and document and log those so that we can begin the process from when that IP was first created. So that's a very, very important part of what we're doing. That's a great question.
And can you talk about how do you deal with false alarms? And part 2, you know, are there any current systems, you know, where do the systems fall short?
So a lot of systems that are out there today are only security-based platforms, and they're only used for the big day. And we always talk about muscle memory. And when I analyze the failures that happened in Parkland and Sandy Hook and recent events that have happened, we find out, especially Uvalde, we find out of all the failures because no one pulled out the checklist and said, what do I do first, second, and third? So by incorporating our technology into day-to-day use, it's not a big, scary device on the wall that you're going to have happen and need to use in the event of an emergency. Talking about false alarms, very, very good question. So in all our devices, we've built in tamper controls. So whether it's the mobile app that uses geographical locations, a geogrid, to determine when it can be activated, or verification messages, or you noticed our blue panic button, that has a cover that goes over it, that when that cover gets lifted, it takes a snapshot using nearby cameras of who opened that device so we know. And on our Shield device, we actually just had this happen yesterday with one of our customers. A student in a special needs classroom lifted the cover. And upon lifting the cover, it took their snapshot, sent it to the principal, and they got to sit down with that child and explain to him what this was and how this is a security system. But it didn't set the system off because they have a program where you have to hold it down for a period of seconds. So we've thought about a lot of this technology and how we can avoid false alarms. I think we've done a pretty good job of it so far.
Great, thank you so much. How does the platform leverage AI in practice? Is it mainly for pattern detection, threat prediction, device orchestration, or real-time analytics?
So whoever asked that question, we're going to hire you, because that was incredible. And you hit all the nails on the head of exactly how our technology works. The focus of our technology is using neural learning to learn environments, learn situations, monitor that data, take that data in, whether it's temperature change, noise level change. So we're building an environment through the cloud of all this incredible data from thousands and thousands of endpoints located all around the world to make those decisions and those determinations on the fly. We also use AI in deployment. So one of the biggest challenges for the integrators is how to quickly deploy this technology. So our technology is what's called self-deployable using AI. So when you build the devices on the map, you can easily set them up, automatically plug them in, they call home and automatically self-deploy. So that's just a few of the ways that we're using AI in the infrastructure.
Thank you. And do you have a relationship with the White House, and can that help you to boost revenue?
So we actually, as a security technology company, have to be extremely apolitical, and we do that by design. So Andy and Ryan, post the shooting, built strong relationships with the federal level. Andy Pollack was just recently in the White House with the president in the Oval Office, talking about safety and security. And we're actually going to be presenting, pending that the government opens up again, December 4th, to the Secretary of Education about a potential national rollout of our security technology and donating a component of our technology to every school in America. Just imagine if we're able to, with the support of the White House and support of the Department of Education, give every school district in America access to our technology and allow them to have that appetizer, if you will, to be able to add on the main course. And that hopefully will be announced sometime at the beginning of the year. We do have our meeting in December to finalize that negotiation.
Thank you. And this is just a subset of it. Do you think the NYC mayor potentially, what may happen, affect your conversions or conversations with getting into the NYC school systems?
That's a great question. So by design, there was an announcement that happened a few days ago. If you Google it, New York City pilots school technology, and they didn't mention our name by design because we have an understanding that a lot of the appointed officials will no longer be there once the new mayor comes in, whatever mayor it is. So we strategically coordinated where we're working with the team at the New York City Department of Education that's not appointed by the mayor. It's more the school staff, and we're right now piloting with them so that this isn't a mayoral initiative that gets thrown out. And we believe that what we're doing will continue to live on long past. Now, New York City Department of Education is not just looking at this from a security standpoint. They have an aging public address and communication platform, and they also have a requirement now with the New York State law to monitor temperature in all of their 1,800 campuses. And that's really what they're focused on using XSponse for. So we're excited about that and looking forward to a new mayor coming in so we can work with them as well.
Great, thank you. And which of the market verticals, education, healthcare, corporate retail, are showing the fastest adoption, and how do you prioritize expansion across all of them?
So I would say the two big ones right now are healthcare and education. Education is the sexy one, the one that everyone hears about and talks about. So that's really the one that gets the most public attention. So we are focused a lot on the K-12 space and, believe it or not, the higher ed space. But recently, we've got a lot of interest from hospitals, and we're working on certifying our product for various privacy needs because of the fact that they want to put these badges on all of their staff, all the nurses, and they're extremely excited about the vape detection capability, as well as the environmental monitoring, and, believe it or not, the communication. In the corporate environment, post the event that happened in New York City a few months back, we're getting a lot of interest in large corporate establishments, real estate organizations, about being able to incorporate multiple organizations in a large corporate enterprise. Just imagine what we could have done if the first responders were able to see live into that building, and if we were able to put that wearable in the hands of the security guard to lock down the elevators. That's the capability of this technology and what makes it so exciting for us.
Great. And what about the airlines?
So we haven't spoken to any airlines yet, but my understanding is that there's a big interest in airlines in air quality monitoring. And that's where that device that you saw could definitely be utilized. Outside of air quality monitoring and the actual airlines, we've been speaking to transit authority agencies. We are speaking to the largest transit authority in the United States right now, the MTA in New York, and have been in discussions with them about potentially placing badges in all their conductors' hands. Imagine being able to call for help, not just necessarily lock down, but call a message or open up a camera or bring one of the 20,000 cameras that they monitor to the attention of an operator. So that's 100% how we're looking there as well.
Great. And what incentivizes resellers to prioritize XSponse versus other products potentially in their portfolio?
So that's a great question. When we first launched our dealer network, we said, all right, we bring on a bunch of dealers, they're magically just going to sell the product. And that was a failure on our end. And I learned that, and I should have known that as being an integrator for 20 years. They're thrown with all this technology. What's going to make an integrator, what made me as an integrator for many years, push one product over another is bringing demand to me. The second that one of my manufacturers brought an opportunity to me and literally handed it to me on a silver platter, I said, wow, if this was that easy, I'm going to push this product. So what we're really focused on is transversing into building demand and being able to hand deliver our 72 dealers projects. And that's what we're slowly working on now in the different regions, finding an anchor opportunity. And we've done that in 2 states already, where we bring it to a dealer and basically letting them see what's going on.
And then last question, why would you ever get a no? Would it basically be cost?
That's a great question. We actually haven't got no's. The quicker thing that we've gotten is how quick can you do it? And I think the bigger challenge that we've been seeing is just timeline, building it into budgets, coordinating. The model that we first started with is very different than the model we're utilizing now. Most of the play here is software. We're going to be launching a new pricing model come January, where we're able to potentially give the hardware as a service and give the software away as a service. And I think that's going to create a tremendous amount of demand. In the school environment, how can you say for 10 or 20 or $30 a school child per year that we're going to provide this life-saving technology? You can't say no to that. And for the schools that do have CapEx money that they need to spend, whether it's a bond, we can support that initiative as well and do a capital project. So unlike Microsoft that you have to now pay monthly for everything, we can do a hybrid model. We can do all on the recurring side, or we can do that hybrid as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And for the audience, if you have additional questions, everyone out there has my email address. I'm happy to facilitate an introduction to the team here to learn more about the investment opportunity. And Lee, I do want to turn it back over to you for any final words before we close out today.
Well, I just want to thank everyone. I know everyone's busy. When I sold my company in 2019, magically, I had hundreds of people pitching me all sorts of ideas, all sorts of technology, all sorts of products, including the founder of XSponse. And what drew me into XSponse is the nimbleness of John, the founder's ability to take my crazy ideas and turn them into actually products. And to do that in under 12 months, and looking at Ryan, and when I watch that video and see his daughter on the screen, that's our mission. And when me and Ryan and Josh and John work together and we talk, we say, there's a higher power that's truly looking out at us and saying how important this mission is. And that's what we're doing this for. We've all had success in the past. We'll all have success in the future. But this is truly about saving lives and giving first responders tools. And I'm really empowering you to join us on our mission. And we're looking forward to not just finding an investor or investors, but to find partners and people who can add value and help us fulfill that mission. So with that being said, thank you everyone for your time. Look forward to having further conversations with you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.